Where are you from?
My name is Dylan. I'm from Portland, Oregon, USA.
Wow. Are you a college student?
I went back to college. I stopped for a bit, but now I'm back in college. Yeah.
What brought you to Medyka and become a volunteer for the refugees?
Yeah. So when the war started, I just knew from the beginning that I needed to help somehow. I wasn't sure what that would look like at first, but I tried to reach out to other people, that felt the same way.
Yeah.
And so I found this community called Volunteers for Ukraine and found some like-minded people, that were also motivated to help out, wanted to help the refugees. And so I got connected with them, and we met up here in Medyka, and I started working at their tent, and started making connections to people in other organizations, and I've only been here for a week, but it's been a great experience so far, and I've been able to help some people out. So
yeah, absolutely. I talked to many people, and almost everyone tells me that this is a life-changing experience because within using their own eyes, they see the beauty of humanity, and just transcends cultural boundary, and people's coming together to stand with the Ukrainians.
Absolutely, yeah. I know it's one of the most beautiful things about this. I think is you get people from countries across the world, that maybe you don't even speak the same language, but you're all passionate about the same thing, and that's helping people when they need it the most.
Yeah, so I've seen the SSF, the Rescuers Without Borders, Doctors Without Borders, and I feel we're like compassion without the borders. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So I see the Europeans, Americans like you and me, and I'm also from the new federal state of China. It's also a borderless new Chinese federation that we want to stand up for ourselves to tell people, hey, we're not represented by the Chinese Communist Party, because we all know the Chinese Communist Party is Putin's friend. They work together to start the war, which is terrible. And so this is why the members of the new federal state of China, we come here. We help the refugees. Our tent has received over 16,000 refugees. Yeah.
That's really impressive. Yeah, it's important to point out that our governments don't always represent us.
Absolutely. So, how did you hear about us, like the new federal state of China? From social media or from here, meeting people?
Well, so before I came out to Medyka, and I was looking online for people to meet up with here. I was on social media looking for different organizations, and I saw some photos and videos of your guys' tent, and I saw you guys had posted an image with, I think, a phone number and an email address. It was like a rescue, a rescue line where you could, I think, call or email and get. Is that true? Get picked up at the border or something?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So we provided the bus service transporting Ukrainian refugees from Lviv to Krakow.
Wow.
In Poland, we rescued over 2,000 people from Ukraine, mostly Ukrainians, but also American family from Chicago. We bought the ticket, air ticket, and sent them back to be reunited with their family in Chicago. And this tent is the most well-equipped tent. We have 24/7 electricity, warm comfort for women and children. You should stop by and
I'd like to.
and check out. We have the freshly ground coffee.
I like ground coffee, freshly ground coffee. Yeah.
So when you first learned about us, a lot of the young people from around the world, especially in the Western society, are not familiar with communism. But I think you have a pretty good understanding about the communism. So talk about how you learned about what you have learned about the communism.
Well, I think as it relates to China, just been, reading the news, and reading a little bit of the historical context of how, the Chinese Communist Party's policies, have really negatively impacted the people of China, like the one-child policy, and so I think it's I think it's great that a group like your guys' organization exists to, show people that not everybody in China agrees with the government and their policies.
In fact, we are the biggest victims of the policies of the Chinese Communist Party because a lot of us, we don't have a sibling because of the one-child policy of the forced abortion has caused, hundreds of millions of lives killed before they were born. And also the massive surveillance and censorship. You talk about the email system and QR code for this rescue operation were attacked by the Chinese Communist Party. Yeah, they attacked. They used the cyber attack against our email system. That we used to contact the refugees, and they also cut our cable for our billboard. So
Really?
Yeah, right here.
They actually came here to do that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it doesn't really surprise me. They probably don't like, an organization like your guys's that has sort of a big presence online, getting sort of a lot of attention, and taking a stance because, as you guys are well aware, China censors, opposition, in and outside the country.
Yeah, so we were surprised too because here in Poland, which is a free country, so someone didn't like our billboard messaging to say who we are and our mission. So they end up cutting our cable. We lost the signal and they destroyed our QR code. And of course, none of us who is wearing this is allowed to enter China until communism falls. So. But
I didn't really think about that, but I'm sure you guys, I wouldn't be, I don't know too much about it, but I'm sure, a government like China that really sort of, makes an effort to get involved into, sort of this, they would probably consider this like a protest effort, and I'm sure you guys have received like threats, from the government and stuff like that. Yeah.
Constantly. And especially the founder of our movement, Mao School, he took most of the beating. He bore the brunt of the attacks, reputationally, financially, economically, everything. And he's currently in New York. He still has like 60+ lawsuits brought against him by the Chinese Communist Party's agent in the United States of America.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's really sad.
Yeah. So this is why we put this on our tent that Chinese Communist Party is the root cause of the global disasters, and taking down the Chinese Communist Party is the only way to save humanity because it's not only affecting the Chinese people's life living in communist China, but also in the Western democratic society. I mean, the freedom of press, even the judicial system, financial system, and economics have all been integrated into the Chinese Communist Party's system, which is terrible. So someone has to stand up, and we chose to stand up.
I think that's really great. I really support you guys.
Thank you so much, and you can go online and learn more about us. And because I do believe that the America's future is you, the younger generations, and the more you know about what's going on with the Chinese Communist Party, I think the more you can help defend peace and freedom for America.
I agree.